More weeks till
So,
Christmas. It's about 5 weeks.
Christmas for the
About five
children.
weeks.
Christmas for the children. I got no kids, and the one person I did got something for Christmas, she's long gone. I love her. That's my mom. So, Lizzie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's about time. I do
Yeah,
apologise.
no apologies. Like I said, your guy sometimes try to get a girl, and she finally get her. Say, yeah, I finally got her. Took me some time to get her, but I got her. But that's the exciting part about when you get these ladies who want to come on and share the story. So, ma'am, this question I want to ask you: what got you started in sport? As I call it, muscle and masculinity. Please share.
Yeah. So basically, I had 3 children, lost all the weight from having 3 children through doing cardio. And I got down to my, the goal weight, the goal size that every female wants to be. And I looked awful. Everything was wobbly and I didn't feel myself. And I thought, okay, right, I'm going to go back to similar-ish training to what I used to do years ago. I used to do kickboxing. So I picked up the weights, did a little bit of this, and I thought, I really enjoy this, really enjoy it. So I just had some dumbbells in my bedroom and I was, playing with those. And then I had more dumbbells, and then I had a bench, and then I had some more weights, and then I had a bar, and then that got moved to the garage. And then after a while, I sort of said, you know what, I'm really enjoying the shape. I love the shape. I was getting some shape on my body. I was feeling confident. Things started to pop. And I was like, I'm going to go to the gym. So I went to the gym, and I was in the gym. Um, and someone come up to me and said, "Oh, are you a power lifter?" And I went, "No." And they were like, "Oh, you're lifting some heavy weights." And I went, "Oh, thank you very much." And then more people would come along and say, "Oh, do you compete?" And I said, "Compete in what?" And they said, "Do you do this? Do you do say? Do you do competitions?" And I was like, "No." And I think I'd always kind of seen bikini girls at the gym. And other than that, I didn't know there was any difference between bikini girls and women's bodybuilding. I didn't know there was categories in between. So, you know, I was on social media, started looking, and I thought, oh, do you know what? I really like this. That's what I want to aspire towards. So that's basically how I started. Really, was just love of lifting weights. That's what got me going.
Yeah, I think every woman has that same story with the guys in body, like yourself having children and then your body. Because I can tell you, I never had kids, but I'm just, I can tell you, yeah, trying to find something to help you in that process after weight loss and then just happen upon bodybuilding. It's been a while for a long time. Now people don't know a lot about it. If you think about bodybuilding, you think about two people, and that's Arnold Schwarzenegger and Lou Ferrigno, the Incredible Hulk and the Terminator. But you
Mm.
know what? Many times we talk to ladies when they got into it, it's something that really gave them new life, gave them new energy because it's a lot of work to do this sport. It's a lot of training, a lot of consistency, patience. I mean, it's not as easy as you look if you look at it.
No, it's not. And I think the goal was never to compete for me. The goal was just I wanted to look a certain way. I wanted to look how I used to look. But then I just kept, I'd see pictures of female bodybuilders and my mind would be blown. And I want those shoulders. I want the capped outs. I want the quads, and I figured I can do this. I could do this. And the more I lifted, the more I enjoyed it. And the more I saw changes, the more I knew, do you know what, this sport is for me. I'd found my true love, if that makes sense.
Well, I think everybody finds something about the sport that really gives them a passion. If it's just that the training, working out,
Mm,
seeing your body develop as it grows, coming from where you were before to where you are now.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, pretty much. So the goal did shift. Like I said, I wanted to kind of look how I used to look in my sort of late teens, early 20s, because I did, a lot of people don't know, I did a lot of kickboxing. So I had a good muscle development, but I was, fighting basically. So it was more like a boxing kind of figure. So I wanted to get that back. But then when I got that back, I wanted more. I wanted a bit more size. more definition. So the shape was slightly different. So the goalpost did move a few times. When I'd reached that, I then wanted to go a little bit further. So I haven't stopped
Mhm.
yet.
Interesting. I know a lady I interviewed a while back. Her name is Nikki Ricks. She's also from the UK.
Mm.
She also did some little kickboxing back in the day. I do content on women in mixed martial arts and MMA, because it's a very tough sport. What got you into that? I mean, you got to think about it. You're going to somebody have to kick you in the head or in the face.
Yeah, I got kicked in the head a few times. I think I think it was just I was a teenager and always been a little bit chubby my whole life. And I was like, oh, like every teenager, I want to get skinny. I was like, oh, brilliant. I'll go and see what the leisure centre has to offer. And they had like classes on. They had like, your legs, bums and tums, your aerobics, that type of thing. And it was just boring, so boring. And one of the classes was kickboxing. So, like normal, these things happen to me. I go along, really enjoy it. Again, I did really well. And then I did that for quite a few years actually. And I progressed quite well in that sport. But again, I kind of once I finished college and I was working full time, saving for a mortgage for a house, started having children, it just went out the window, really, and it's a shame. Yeah, I
Yeah, I
can't
understand.
kickbox now because I'm too slow,
I
too slow, and I'm
understand.
certainly not flexible.
I understand life
Certainly
happens,
not flexible.
especially you have kids, you get married, you want to have a house, something of your own. I
Yeah.
never had that luxury of having children. I had one woman in my life, that was my mom. She was the woman in my life till she passed away. And this is the person I really dedicated a lot of my work to, especially doing this content. We have your shout out to my man KL, the Wanderer, coming in, who says, "What's up? What's up with you, brother? Thank you for coming by." So now, what was that experience like for you that first time? Honestly, you gotta think about it. You're walking and prancing across the stage, half naked, and you got people looking at you and judging you. And like I said, you are a pretty lady. I have to admit my crime here, Lizzie. I am a muscle person. I just love y'all buff ladies. Y'all excite me.
um, can I tell you something funny? My first show,
Go ahead. What is it? What
no
is it?
lie. Well, my first ever show. I'd had the tan, I had the bikini on, I was backstage, and I thought to myself, I need to leave. What am I doing? This is a stupid idea. This is crazy. If I left now, no one will notice me leaving. And I thought, right, I'm definitely going to go. I'm definitely going to go. And I thought, I know, I'll just go and get my bag, and then I'll leave. And as I went to get my bag, I thought maybe I should just do it the once, and then I can leave after straight away afterwards. I haven't got to go back on stage. I'll just do it once and I'll go. So for me, it was kind of that surreal moment of forcing myself to do it, and then thinking in my head, all I had to do was just walk on stage, do the poses, walk off, and then I could leave and no one would notice. So it wasn't, it was nerve wracking. The first time was nerve wracking because honestly, I didn't believe in myself. I didn't think I was competitive. I didn't think that I had anything the judges were looking for. Um, yeah, it was just wild. So um, I won my first show. And again, I didn't really believe it, to be honest with you. I just kept looking at the trophy, thinking, no, they got something wrong here. They called out the wrong number. And you could see the look on my face. And I look back at the videos, this not quite understanding how the process worked when they called people out. When they sort of go, and your fourth competitor, blah, 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 blah. And then they call you down, don't they? And you go like, bronze, silver, and your winner. And I'm just stood there like, oh, this is nice. Not even thinking I'd won. So I looked a bit of an idiot, to be honest with you, because I just didn't
Well,
notice, but it was amazing.
Well, everybody's experience is gonna be different. I've heard ladies that say they were really nervous. Some got sick. Some say it was just, especially ladies who have a very athletic background. Who say that was just
Mm.
another form of performance for them. No different from being a track or being a beauty contest. It was just something they're used to. But everybody has their experience, their time. We have your comment. Shout out to my man KL. He says this. He says this. Shout out to my man KL. He says, Elizabeth, what's your experience as a bodybuilder walking in the streets of the UK? Since I heard there's not a lot.
No, there isn't a lot. Um, to be honest, in the winter, when you've just got jumpers and a coat on, you just look a little bit bigger than normal, but it's not obvious. I'm not at that size because that's women's body. I do women's physique, so I'm smaller, obviously. So you don't look as jacked or as hench or, when you're lean, you can't go anywhere. When you've got striations, you're vascular. If you go walking around town, um, just go to parents' evenings, shopping, anywhere like that, you're always going to get stopped. Always going to get stopped. People are going to ask questions, and it's nice. It's nice comments actually. It's really nice comments.
Hmm.
Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
That's pretty good because I know some ladies have different experience. Sometimes I think with men and women, especially older
Mm.
people, they're more very, kind of like off-putting about it sometimes because something is different for them. Children, I think, are a little bit more open-minded because they look at this like, wow, you look like a superhero. And they say that the UK is growing with female bodybuilders. Like there's a lady I interviewed right back, Anita. She is an IFB
Yeah.
pro. Also, a lady you know very well, and that's Rama Scottson. Is Rama announced her and her fiance Dan are going to get married. They're gonna get married. So
Ah, yeah. And I'm wondering actually, I have to ask because obviously, because she's my coach, you know, do we get to go to the wedding?
well, you
Because
should.
it'll be the wedding of the century, won't it? It'll be like the
Yeah,
royal people get married. It'll be like the bodybuilding community version of a royal wedding.
yeah. I
Be
mean, yeah, it'd be
great.
great. Romana is an amazing lady. I got you a pleasure to interview both her and me there a while back, and you said that
Oh.
that's your coach. When did y'all two meet? And and how long y'all been? She been working with her.
So I've been with Romana now for oh my gosh, nearly 2 years, not quite 2 years, about a year and a half. Well, I'm just gonna say 2 years. That's easy because what happened was I was with Anita for a long time actually. She's a good coach. And then we just kind of come to the end of our, coaching. I've been with her from the beginning. We were like, hey, I need to try something different, and things weren't quite working. So I had a male coach for a very short amount of time, and it just wasn't. It's not the same for me. I work better with females. So I contacted Romana because I needed some posing tuition because my posing was one of my massive weak points. So I had some posing lessons with her. And it was so nice to have that female to talk to about, because she's women's bodybuilding, to have the kind of the understanding, if that makes sense. So I had a couple of posing lessons with her. And then she was always on the phone. If I ever needed to ask a question with something that wasn't even to do with posing, she was very open and honest with me. And she helped me out a few times with a couple of struggles I was having with the diet. And then next thing you know, I was just like, look, could you be my coach, please? And she was like, oh, I'd love for you you to be my client. And we were like, woo, okay then. So yeah, so then she was my coach, and I've met with her quite a few times, like face to face, and had a check in, which has been really good. So yeah, she's brilliant. She knows me well. She knows me well.
I think it's good to have a good relationship with your coach. I think one thing I think with coaches between men and women understand their bodies more better than a man does. And it takes a special man to understand a woman's hormones, how she grows, how she develops. With guys, it's pretty easy. Just put on some size muscle, training, condition, all that stuff like that. But there's so much more because as a woman, your body is different compared to us. We have natural testosterone, and that's something that helps us in our process. And you are more, like I said, more leaner, more. It takes a lot more from when we put on muscle compared to the men.
Definitely, definitely. And I think just like from a hormone point of view as well, you can go through periods of time where, you know, the scales aren't quite matching what you're doing, or, your skin's gone a bit crazy or something. So it's good to have you know, because I spoke to my coach recently. I said, "What's going on?" Because I never have a spot in my life and got sort of acne here and here. And she checked on my check-in sheets from exactly, like a year or so ago. And well, it wasn't a year ago. It was last April. Exactly the same thing. But of course, I'd forgotten all of that. But she has all of that, because we've been working together now for a good amount of time. She has all that information and she understands, being a woman, why that bothered me. If you know what I mean, where some guys it wouldn't, they'd be like, "Oh, you're fine, don't worry about it." I'm like, actually, no, it really bothers me. So she's good like that.
That's
She is
good.
good like that.
That's good. Also, you
But
got to deal
yeah,
with bodybuilding. Also deal with body dysmorphia. Also, other stuff that goes around with it. Here's the thing about the sport: that everybody looks at it. Everybody looks at it, think of it. You take some steroids, you can get big, like rah, rah, rah. But that's the lie that's
we
been
wish.
told. Yeah. If you don't follow a diet, if you just don't stay consistent, if you don't be persistent, don't be disciplined, you're not going to be at that level. If you look at someone like your fellow countryman, Samson Duda, or also guys
Mm.
like one of my favorite, because I have to always say that she's my girlfriend, and I'm a fan of her. That
Oh
is the lovely, amazing. I'm just addict to her, Miss Andrea Shaw.
no, she's mine.
No, she's my. You got a husband. Shut up. She's my girl. That's my girl.
She's my
You know,
girl crush.
she's my girl.
No, no, no. Do you know, I absolutely love her. I just love watching her. It's her stage presence. It's that quiet, graceful confidence. She presents herself so well. She's got lovely shape. It's just everything. It's that natural flow. Yes, she's amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Well, people tell
I
me
love
she's
the
a
woman.
wonderful. I believe you a couple of ladies that know her. She's a wonderful person. This is a friend of mine. Was it about a couple years ago? My birthday. My friend is Eunice. She runs a company called Bad Rabbits. The Monicas, big and defined, ripped and pumped. And she was at the 2023 Olympia. That was the year, was in Orlando, and she got me this issue for me for my birthday. She sent it to me. She mailed it like about a few
Oh,
days later. But what makes this issue special? It just not just because, and I know Kay, you're gonna hate this. Thank you, hate no more. That Andrea took the time. She signed it for me.
is she? Oh, that is lush.
I mean,
Oh, bless you.
I love her. That's why she's my girl. No one can have her. She's mine. My
All right, you
woman.
can have her. You can have her.
Yeah, I can have her. So it's like, other than Romana, and who else did you really look? I won't say look up to. We respect, admire their work and their commitment, especially in bodybuilding.
So obviously, like I said, me saying like the goalposts kind of changed. So when I first started, it was I say Dana Lynn Bailey, but is it Dana Lynn? How do you say it? Dana?
Dana Lynn, Dana Lynn.
Yeah. So I saw her and I was like, I want arms like that. I want shoulders like that. Um, and then again, you start watching videos, don't you? Start checking other people out. But it was always Andrea Shaw from the beginning. Andrea Shaw. But of course, I'm not a female bodybuilder. I'm women's physique. So naturally, I look under the Talia and how she's looking this year. She made them quads look pretty big. It's quite impressive.
Yeah. Well,
So
right now there's a little issue between the former champ Sarah Vilgas. Ooh,
I
I
heard,
just
I heard, I
ooh,
heard.
I like I said again, both of them are, I would say, amazing bodybuilders, but particularly I'm not a big fan of either one of them per se. Just stuff I hear
Mm,
about them here and there. But yeah, that is, everybody has their level, especially coming to sport.
yeah,
No one's going to be Andrea Shaw, but you could be you. So, folks, while we had Lizzie here, what we're going to do is we're going to jump into social media for a bit. If you want to
definitely.
follow her links in the description of this live. She's a nice lady, folks. I reached out to her. She's somebody's mom. She's somebody's wife. Guys, I know you like these ladies. You're fans. But guys, no weird stuff. Don't show your willy. None of that. Stop it. Get some help. You know, I
Show
know
show me
he's
your cats and your dogs instead.
yeah. Show little animals or something, or your kids. You got pictures of kids. Don't
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
Women don't want to see
Send me
that.
pictures of cake. I love cake. Send me pictures of cake.
What's your favorite cake?
All cake. Every cake. If it's got the
I
word
can't.
cake in it, I'm gonna like it.
I'm like I grew up. My mom used to always make these like for the holidays, especially Thanksgiving, Christmas. She used to make these yellow cakes, and you get put icing like chocolate or jelly or
Mm,
something like that. I remember one time, this was like when my mom couldn't do much anymore because she was really sick. And one time it was Christmas about 6 years ago. I said, mom, I'm gonna cook a cake. So she's giving me some instructions. The cakes were done. She told me, son, the cakes ain't pretty. She tasted it, but it tastes good. So I was proud. That was the first
that's
and
all that
last time.
matters.
That's the first and last time I ever made cakes. So first we're gonna
That's
jump
all that
into
matters.
yeah, and here we are on her IG, and right here, this picture right here. This is you got the pink hair. What show were you getting ready for
I
that
love
time?
that pink hair.
What show you getting ready for?
That was the one in Sheffield. I can't even remember what it was, to be honest with you. My mind's gone blank.
That's all right. Everybody, a lot of your bodybuilders get that brain fog. You don't get enough carbs in your system.
I know, I know. You don't know what's going on. You don't know what's going on. But do you know what? This is exciting because obviously, when I do go back on stage, that's been 2 years since then, and I've packed some size on, so it's very exciting.
Well, you look really good here. This is look like maybe most recent picture of you. I mean, you really put on some size there. And that's the thing is, first for the physique division, it's about a certain look. You have to have good size,
Mm,
good conditioning. You want that nice taper in the waist. Everybody wants to be
yeah,
Natalia, but not everybody's gonna be Natalia. Yeah. So, like your family, how many kids you have?
I've got 3 children.
How old are your babies?
Oh, well, one of the two of them are teenagers, and my youngest one is only 12. So two
She's about
boys,
a
one
teen.
girl.
She's about a teen. Remember, those teenagers got beat them down. Got beat them down. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And how long you and your husband been together?
25 years.
Wow. And what's his name?
What's his name? Husband.
Yes, yes. You have a husband, don't you?
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and y'all been together for 20 years. He saw you as you were before, and now he's seeing
Hmm.
you now. What's that like for him? Because I
Yeah.
know with sometimes it's difficult to be in a relationship. Because I know Lisa told me stories of how the life's changed. We started getting bodybuilding serious. The relationships change. I know a couple of ladies told me divorce. Does he support your bodybuilding?
Um, in the beginning, it was difficult, obviously, um, just because the amount of time that it takes up, But I think it's one of those things, isn't it? When you kind of like absolutely love something and you say, "Do you know what? I absolutely love this. Please." So yeah, he is supportive, definitely.
That's good
I
because I
think the
know
kind
it's
of like,
tough.
it is tough, yeah.
Yeah, because you know what? You're seeing somebody going through something that can be bodybuilding can be physically, mentally, emotionally, also financially draining. It can take a toll on any person's body, their mind, the training, the consistency, sometimes it can be very boring. It's also, friendships, relationships can change. Like your family, like your immediate family, or what they think about you as a bodybuilder.
Well, in the beginning, the same as everything. In the beginning, it was constant negativity, um, from family that didn't quite understand what I was doing. Why are you eating that? Why can't you come out? Then when I was on competition prep, you look ill, you've lost too much weight. Um, and then when I'm bulking, oh, you're getting fat again. You're kind of So it's trying, and I think now after so many years, they kind of got an understanding as to why and the process. So I'll just say, I can come out for the family meal, but I'm probably not going to be eating, or you know, I'm on a bulk at the moment. I'll come and I can eat with you guys, and I'll bring some cake, and so it can be really tricky. It can be really tricky. I think again, I'm just going to put it out there. I think it's harder sometimes. Not when you're a man and you say, "Oh, you go to a gym and you're a bodybuilder." It's like, "Way, that's brilliant." How much can you bench? How much? When you're a woman, it's kind of you get this little look of, "Okay," and then you have to kind of explain it a bit more because it's just not not the norm. You just don't see it that much, do you? Really?
Hmm. Well, I think because it's something that's you say out of the norm. If you look at it from society's view,
Mm,
women putting on muscle, people like you, Romana, Anita, who are competitors, who have a passion, and it's just like the idea of the typical woman is supposed to be soft and motherly and and feminine, but but even now, like I'm looking at these pictures, and I'm telling you, Lizzie, wow, I mean, yeah, this one here, I mean, she's all puffed up, she got her hair done. Oh me, I mean, I mean, I think every woman's beautiful in their own right. It's not going to be the
yeah, definitely.
stereotypical beauty, but I think, like I said, you're a lovely lady.
Thank you.
Hmm.
But,
So, yeah,
the
yeah.
fun, the
This is
funniest one actually was is at work because I work with children. Um, they find it hilarious that you know, Mrs. Genese goes to the gym and Mrs. Genese lifts weights up. And when when I was in the lunch hall and it was summer, so we were allowed to sort of wear like a shorter top at work. So I had like a shorter cut off sort of vest top. And all the kids were just like staring at me. And they're like, wow, Mrs. Genese is big. She's got and that's funny. And then I've got a funny story about work. So we were having it was a summer fete on, and they were selling ice creams outside, and the freezer was in the staff room. And they were like, "Oh, we need to get the freezer outside to put the ice creams in." And they were like, "Oh, how are we going to get the freezer outside?" And I said, "So I can carry the freezer." So I pick this freezer up and I carry it through the school and I carry it past year 6, which is the older kids. And they're like, "Is that Mrs. Janice with the freezer?" But I mean, it's brilliant for work. I can, if there's any cabinets or bookshelves that need moving in school, tables, chairs, I just pitch in and it's me that does it.
I think it'd be like funny, especially if you have the school principal saying, Janice, do you think you can help us with this? Even though I'm a little tired, love, do you think you can pick that up for me?" Because and little kids look at, damn, Miss Janice is strong. Because I think with children, I learned this: children are very open. They have no
I agree.
prejudices yet, because until we as adults put it into them. What got you into working with schools and with special needs children?
Um, it, so my son was at the school, and the head teacher approached me and said, "Oh, not your son's very well behaved, but I can see you. Could you come into the school and help us out? We have a difficult situation with a child at the moment. We need a little bit of help." I said, "You just need me to kind of volunteer." She was like, "Yeah, if you could just come in and spend a bit of time with this child." I was like, "Okay, okay." So I had all my sort of security checks done. If you're going to be working with children, your DBS and everything else. And I came in and I worked really well with this child. And then the next thing they were there, "Oh, could you come back again?" And they were like, "Oh, could you come back in September?" And then they just gave me a permanent contract. So yeah, I really enjoy it. I really enjoy it. I absolutely love my job.
That's good. That's good. You have a job that you love, especially
Mm,
for teachers. Y'all put in a lot of work, especially dealing with kids here. And here in the states, kids are bad here. I don't know. We have a lot of stuff going on in our country. you know, but as long as you're doing good work helping these children out, and also they respect and they must definitely love you, being that you're the strong teacher.
Yeah, and I think is I really enjoy it for the especially for like the girls in the school. For the girls in the school, it's kind of like, yeah, you can if you want to go and do that, it's okay, you can do that. If you want to be a bodybuilder, you can go. If you want to be a footballer, you can go and do that. So I think it's good for all of the kids, but especially for like girls to get them into sport. 'Cause, I say to them all the time, I used to hate PE at school. I used to hate PE. I used to hate any physical activity. And they just look at me like this. And I'm like, come on, let's go do this together. Let's run around the field, let's do this, let's do that. So no, I think it's positive to be honest with you. Have someone that has a passion about something that could be a good influence on them.
When I was in school, I used to love playing, running. I played football, American football here when I was in high school, and I used to lift weights. I used to love that. But then I got into the real world, and the real world is you don't have a lot of time. One point I was holding down two jobs. I was working, as you might call it, a petrol station. We call it a gas station here in the U.S. I worked at a textile plant. Also, I worked in a gentleman's club. I had quite a few
Where?
jobs.
Where did you work?
For some people, it's called a gentleman's club. Other words, it's called a
Okay.
strip club. Down here in the hood of the country, it's called a booty club. So I worked there
Do
for
you,
a
do
few
you have
years.
any do you
Yeah,
have any bodybuilder strippers?
I saw there's a couple girls who really fit, but never no bodybuilding strippers. That'd be something.
See, we've noticed something there, haven't we?
I mean, yeah, because that'd be something that'd be interesting. Because one time I was talking to these guys, because we have a community called Muscle Perry Smoke. We love y'all buff ladies. We talking about maybe like this guy said like, how about open a street? Well, if you do it, you have to do it like a tour, because you know what, it's gonna be only so popular. So you have to do it like in the season and around the bigger shows, like something like the on a classic show like the Olympia, something like Chicago Pro. Those big shows would get a lot of attention. Just give some girls and set up a place like that. That's just something we just talk about. Because the thing is, people don't, like I said, you're a beautiful lady. I'm not to lie to you, ma'am. I'm a Southern gentleman. I never tell ladies she's not beautiful. But that's the thing is, when people look at women like y'all, they look at the muscle. They don't look at the overall woman, her appearance, her behaviors. They look at these muscles and saying like, these are like these big, big women. They try to be men. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Again, you're not trying to be a
Yeah.
man. You are a woman. You have children. You have a husband. You are an athlete, and you're doing a sport that you found and you love doing.
Mm, definitely.
Yeah. So you hadn't competed since 2023. What's going on now? You feel like you want to get back on the stage, or you feel like you still need more time to work out some things?
So the plan was, and the plan still is, that I've never experienced a show other than UK. Never done a show other than the UK. So we're like, okay, let's expand a little bit. So I would love to do Romania Muscle Fest. You heard that one?
Yeah, yes.
Yeah.
Lena Popa, and true story, I got to meet her a few years ago when I went to my first Bible show in Savannah.
Cool.
Yeah, I met,
Cool.
this summer I went, and my friend Eunice, she had a booth, and I was there, and I got to meet. I'll pull these pictures up here. I got to meet people like Sharonica Hinton. She was there. I got to meet Ashley Jones. She even gave me a shout out
Oh,
to my
Ashley
channel.
Jones. She looks amazing, doesn't
Yeah, she
she?
looked great. I also got to meet a legend. I used to remember back in the day, Kevin Levrone, and also Isabel Terrell. And one of my biggest side time, I got to meet an actual celebrity. And this man here in the middle, if you don't recognize him, that's one Mr. David Lee Roth from the group Van
Is it?
Halen. Yes, because he was
Wow.
there. Yeah, he's a bodybuilding fan. That's my friend Eunice on the other side. She competed the day before, and she won in women's over 50 plus in women's physique. But
Brilliant.
I mean, it's just for me, it's experience. But the Marine Muscle Fest is just had it past the weekend. It's probably one of the biggest shows around, especially, and it's one of the few shows that still give women's bodybuilding opportunity compared to others that have been pushing them out.
Yeah, definitely. And I've heard nothing but good things. The whole setup, stage, lighting, the way the athletes are treated. had nothing but good things. So that's what I would want to do. That's what I'm aiming for. So that'll be next year.
Yeah, I know a lady I interviewed a while back. She's a fellow country music of yours. Her name, she goes by Ruby Muscles, but everybody call her. Her name is Lisa Smith. She competed there, and because there were not enough competitors in women's bodybuilding class, division, she couldn't get a pro card. That's the thing is, that's a big problem. Sometimes it shows if there's not enough bodies, then you can't get the pro card.
Yeah,
You can petition, you can petition for apply for it, but generally it's like few and far between that happens.
yeah. That does, unfortunately, that is the case in over here as well, especially um yeah, women's physique, women's bodybuilding. You can rock up to a show and there'd be like two athletes. It's heartbreaking, and you think, oh, why do I bother? But then if you're not willing to hold the torch and say, hi, I'm here, we exist, then that's not going to help us, is it really? So it can be frustrating at times, but
Mm.
that's just how it is. But if you go and do the international shows, or if you go, Romania, or you go Italy, Spain, there's a lot more competitors. So you're gonna be on stage with quite a few girls, which is very exciting.
hmm And there's a couple of shows here in the U.S. that's also worldwide shows, like the Amateur Olympia, the Arnold Schwarzenegger Amateurs, and also the show where it's a pro qualifier for women's bodybuilding. But I've known physique competitors. I know a lady who I interviewed a while back. Her name is Margie. She also competed this weekend at a show in Vegas called the Your Masters USA's, where she competed in women's bodybuilding. And all you got to do is just know the mandatory poses, and if you win in your class, you get your pro card. It's a show that was set up by a guy who I'm a fan of. To me, he's the guy who saved bodybuilding. I'm always going to shout him out. He runs the Olympia,